Should you hire a web development company or a solo developer? Should you hire a one-man operation for your next web development project? Perhaps it would be smarter to go with a well-known web development company instead. Both approaches have their advantages and pitfalls, and it really depends on what you're trying to get done, how much money you have to spend, the time frame you're working with, and several other variables. Why you should hire a solo developer. If you decide to choose an individual freelancer for your web design or development project, there's one benefit that stands above all the rest. You will always and only deal with one individual. Most of the time, freelance web developers work on one project at a time. That means they'll be dedicated to your job and your job only until completion. Oftentimes, you can spend less money for a talented web developer by hiring an individual rather than a firm. Dealing with an individual rather than a company means not having to explain the process or project scope to several people. This one-on-one communications factor is far and away the most advantageous reason to choose an individual rather than a company for your web development needs. On the other hand, what happens when an individual runs into problems that keep you from getting your project completed on time? Life happens to everyone, and freelance web developers are no exception. Sickness, unexpected family issues, Mother Nature, and unforeseen political or social upheaval can have a negative effect on how efficiently and quickly your solopreneur handles your job. Why you should hire a web development company. With a web development team rather than an individual, the process is usually streamlined. As opposed to dealing with an individual, you may be communicating with more than one person, especially if you have a larger project. One benefit of choosing a team rather than a single person working for himself is that there'll be guarantees and promises clearly put in place. An established company will make sure you're satisfied, whereas an individual could take your money and run, never to be heard from again. All things being equal, you will generally spend more money hiring a web development team than you would a one-person operation. In many cases, you can expect to wait longer for a project to be finished when hiring a team or company. However, if the principal developer handling your job gets sick or otherwise can't work, working with a company instead of a solo developer means someone else steps in to finish the job on time. Web development companies are often more transparent than individual freelancers. A solo freelancer may send you samples of his or her work, but how do you know that they're the creator of those samples? You can rest assured that a company with its reputation on the line will be transparent and trustworthy when providing samples, bids and deadlines, and in other areas of communication, performance, and quality.